Hey everyone, welcome back to Best Laid Plans. It is a DIY time this week. I am super excited about this. It's a project I wanted to do for so long, and I found at Michael's there is a new collection of creative tools called Make Market, and they have a miniature book nook. And I bought 3 of these because I wanted to make one for a friend, and then I wanted to just play around and make a couple. The one we're going to be making today, I've already gone ahead and pre-assembled because it's mostly going to be one color inside. If you're going to do a lot of work on the walls and everything, like in the interior, and they're going to be like wallpaper or like a scene, I recommend pre-doing that before you assemble at least the walls and the floor. In this case, I'm going to be painting this one green, and just to show you, like, here are the instructions on the back. They tell you exactly what to do. I didn't have to get a hammer out or anything. It was pretty easy to assemble. And what I am going to be making with this is a little fairy scene book nook for my planner room. And I'm not sure exactly where it's going to go just yet, or if it's maybe going to go on a bookshelf, but you know I love fairies, so I gotta do it. So a couple things. I will be using my glue gun for this, and I also have tweezers because I'm going to be putting down some small items. Obviously the book nook, paint, and then I also have Mod Podge as a sealant, because if I paint the outside, which I'm definitely going to do, I'm going to want to seal that with Mod Podge. I also purchased these, and I know Dollar Tree sometimes sells these little fairy light kits, but I got most of this from Shein and Temu, probably mostly from like Shein. You can also get these from Amazon, but basically they're the little LED lights, the fairy light strips that light up so that you have like light in your book nook. I have 2 here. I don't know if I'm going to use both of them or not, but here they are. And then I purchased some moss. Because I want to make the ground and some of the other like wood objects and rocks green. And so I'm going to do that by using basically Mod Podge and this moss. So this is faux moss. I also got this little miniature wooden fairy door, again in green. That is going to be going in the very back of the nook. So there's that. And then to just kind of scatter around to give it that like flower fairy feel, I got these little miniature posy flowers in all these different rainbow colors. I also wanted to find a way to incorporate my flower fairy cabochons because I have 5 of them, and I thought maybe I could put them around here once everything is done. But I have those here as well. And then I did purchase some prefab kind of miniature things. Obviously, with any of these, if you are into like metalworking, woodwork, you can do that yourself. You can also find a lot of dollhouse miniatures and like miniature fairy garden things at Dollar Tree now. I, again, got my stuff at Shein and places like that because I don't get out to Dollar Tree much, and my Dollar Tree doesn't have a lot of stuff because it do be like that. But on, I think this one is from Temu, I'm pretty sure. I wanted to have one thing in my fairy nook that had the semblance of like the human world, like maybe the Fae stole something from the human world that had some sort of magical quality to it, and I decided it was going to be this vintage gramophone. I just love the look of it, and I thought that would be so cute to have like up on a rock, and then the humans, the fairies are listening to it. If you've seen the Midsummer Night's Dream that has Stanley Tucci in it as Puck, there's a scene where Titania and her fairies are in the fairy veil, and they are like they're playing music from a gramophone, and I loved that vibe, so I wanted to include that in my fairy nook. And then I also purchased, this all came as a set. I have some fake logs. Now you could use real like wood and things that you found. I would make sure if you do anything, bringing anything in from outside, that you like research how to clean it and like keep it from like bringing bugs and things in your house. So just FYI. And it also came with this like set of rocks. Including this one here that has, it looks like maybe there's like animal bones or something there. It's a little creepy. I love that. So I have those. And then I also had to get a little fairy, and she is reading a book. She's little green wings. And she came with this little tea set that I thought would be so cute to just include on the rock here. Obviously I have to glue things down. And she has a little kitty cat. So that is everything I got for kind of like the inside and everything. And then last but not least, I found this, I'm pretty sure I found this on Shein, and it came with another piece that was like a vintage bird cage for like a Victorian menagerie. But this was the gate that came with it, and it fits perfectly the front of the Nook. And it's like this little rusted old gate. I'm gonna gild parts of it. I think I'm gonna have fairy lights winding around it as well. But this is this little like fairy gate. It opens. I love the idea of it being like this portal to the Fae realm. So that is the last piece. And do pardon my like messy bits. This is my big piece of like parchment paper that I use whenever I'm painting, just to protect everything. So that is going to be the items I'm using. Now, the first step in this is going to be just to paint literally all of the like inside and outside of this in a dark green paint. I am not going to show myself doing that painting because I want to just go ahead and get that done, and we can move on to kind of the more fun parts of like figuring out where everything's going to go, putting in the fake moss, things like that. So I'm going to go and paint this, and then we'll come back and we'll move on to the next steps. And I probably will cut over with voiceover and have music kind of in the background while I'm doing this, just so that it doesn't get a little bit tedious where I'm like narrating and doing something. So I will probably do that, just to let you know. So now, without further ado, let's go and make our fairy nook. All right, so I actually was able to use up a whole thing of Mod Podge, the one I was trying to use up, sealing that after I painted it. I just used the cheapest stuff, the Craftsmart paints. They're like 89 cents. I got it in green, and then I added a little bit of the Folk Art metallic silver just so that it has a little bit of a sheen to it and it was a bit darker, like a forest green. So that's what I'm using, and I'm also just using Artist Loft, like basic, super cheapy synthetic brushes for that. I use this one for Mod Podge and this one for the painting. So now that that's done, we're going to move on to adding moss, and I'm going to use Mod Podge to do this also. So I'm basically just going to be covering this area here and like some of the sides that I want it to kind of climb up. So I'll just play some music and show you what I'm doing. Okay, so that is all of the moss drying, and I also am drying all of these rocks and things that are going to be going around as well. And I'm going to go wash my hands and clean up my Mod Podge brush now so I can have that for later. And then we are going to move on to the really fun part, which is starting to put in lights and decorating. So while some of the pieces with more glue on them are drying, I'm gonna go ahead and hot glue or warm glue with my warm glue gun here, my pieces that are still needing to be assembled together so that they don't move around or get lost because they're small pieces. And so now what I want to do is I'm going to be using these little tiny flowers here and my little pincers tweezers. I don't know why I called them that. To put these little flowers onto bits of the logs, and they're also going to be going on the moss covered rocks, and they are still drying, so I won't show you when I put them on these, but I'll show you how I'm putting them onto these so you just can see the process. And I have finished gluing all of the little flowers onto my little rocks and everything, so you can kind of see the effect. Everything's nice and scattered. I also decided to glue them around the side of the gramophone here, almost like it was starting to merge with the fairy landscape. So I thought that was cute. So now what I have to do is I still have Mod Podge drying on these two rocks, but while that's going on, I also wanted to just take this fairy door and make it a little bit more three-dimensional by placing actual flowers onto where flowers would be. So I am like so. So I am going to go ahead and glue these. The nice thing about doing these pieces beforehand is with the hot glue, you know, you get a little scraggly, so you want to make sure that you keep those clear. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting things inside of the box, just the stuff that's dry. So I'm going to put these aside. I did glue these two rocks together, by the way. And then move all this stuff here. So the first things that have to go in next are going to actually be the top lights and the door. I am going to go ahead and put the door in. I'm just going to kind of show you guys so you can see inside the Nook. Now I'm going to just put a little bit of hot glue on the back of this, and it is going to go in the very back here. And it's going to be like the door to the other world that little Faye has stepped out of to go and enjoy her human books and music. And there we have our little gateway in the back. Now, the next thing I want to add is the first strands of lights that I'm going to be using. And just so you know, I did deliberately twist it like this. This is basically, I got like a set of 5 of these, I think for like $1 something from Shein. They are the fairy lights, and I'll just show you, like, they have 3 settings, so they're quite bright. And I've gone ahead and twisted this because I want to basically, once it's inside, just have it kind of arranged like that and then glued to the top. So in the back, there is a little hole that you can like feed this through. So that is what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna get the whole thing inside. I'm going to be using 2 strands of lights for this project. I'm going to use this one on the top, and then I have another one I'm going to use on the gate. All right, so there's that, and then I have kind of left this to go up here, and I'm going to be gluing this one up here, and this log is going to be up in front so that you cannot see the lights from up here. They'll be behind here like so, and then you just hit the button to turn them on. So that is how those are going to work. And then I'm just, again, taking these on the inside and kind of using the wire to bend them into like a circle shape. It just makes it easier to hang them on the top. And since these are cool LED lights, I can do this. Would not do this with like actual electric. Okay. So there they are. I've just kind of glued that up in the corner, and now you can actually see into the Nook. So I think that's pretty cool. And it's going to make it a lot easier to finish putting the decorations in. So the next thing I want to do is start to figure out where I want to lay out my pieces. So I think some things like this, I'm definitely going to layer like so. I'm just kind of figuring out exactly where I want to put them. I think I might put this rock on top of the other 2. So let's see. I have changed my mind, and I think I actually want this to go up here on the wall. So I'm going to put this aside, and then I am going to add my little fay here. And if I didn't say it before, definitely when you're doing this, wear something you don't care about. Don't wear anything you're gonna get like glue or paint on, and then it'll be the end of the world. And I just need to make sure that I have room for the gate to go on top here. Yeah, let's push this back a little. And so this is what it looks like right now. I've got my little fairy reading. I have this really cute kind of like, I might even paint like a little waterfall maybe, I don't know. And then I have this branch up here on the side. So what I'm going to do is, while I'm waiting to add the final touches, I want to just go through with the rest of all of these little flowers, and I am going to like put a little dab of glue on the back. Oop, I've got like hot glue everywhere, y'all. Hot glue everywhere. A little dab of glue on the back, and then just start placing them along the inside walls so that there's like a bunch of flowers kind of coming down. All right, so that was a lot of tweezers and hot glue. I will let you know if you're doing this and you're using like jewel glue or something, even then with like little beads like this, use tweezers because you will get glue. You're gonna get glue over your hands anyway, but like you will get a considerably less amount of glue and things all over your project if you use tweezers. So just FYI. So I have finished hot gluing everything down, and now I want to add, I also hot glued my little fairy gate, which I love. Up here, I want to glue these flower fairy cabochons that I purchased, so that is next. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this one off. I don't want to waste the battery. So now we've got the inside, this part done, and the last thing I want to do is I have one more strand of the lights, and I have like fully untangled these. I'm going to put this one up here, and then I want to string it through the gate here. So that is the last step, and then I will show you the finished product of what it looks like. So here is my fairy garden nook.